Hey folks, Gway. I have a problem doing this video. Normally, I do a video and, I observe something. I hope I observe something correctly, and I tell you a little bit of what it is that I've observed, and then I offer a message that I hope reminds us or teaches us to do differently, or to do that thing if it's a good thing. And it's a rare thing that I do good things. I need to do more good things. But anyway, that's kind of my modus operandi, right? Observation. Here's an observation, and here's a lesson that we can take from the observation. I try not to just beat people up, though I suspect I do from time to time. But I really genuinely, here's an observation. Here's something that I'm seeing in the world. Here's what we can learn from it, and here's how we can move on and be better people because of what we see here. Now, I also understand that not everybody's going to watch the full video, so I need you to hear this point, because this is really the crux of this video. If somebody ever approaches you and they tell you that their title is apostle, hi, I'm the apostle such and such, or hi, I'm such and such, an apostle of Jesus Christ. Smile, say it's nice to meet you, and then go away. Get away from them, because they're going to ask you for something. They're going to cost you something. They're going to be a burden to you somehow. It might not be right there in that moment. They may not steal your wallet. They may not steal your watch. As a matter of fact, I'd be surprised if they did. But at some point, they are going to be a burden to you. They will take something from you. Now, this past Pentecost Sunday 2024, a Tennessee speaker by the name of Greg Locke, Mount Joliet, I think, he and his wife were both given a pretty amazing honor. They were both installed as apostles to the nations. We're not talking small a apostles, like most people could claim. I'm an apostle of Jesus Christ in that through the Great Commissioning, I am sent out to share the gospel. Small a. That's the definition of the word. An apostle is someone who is sent out by another person to do a particular thing. They were not installed as small a apostles. They were installed as big A apostles. They were installed as apostles of Jesus Christ to the nations. Now, the difference is that whereas I could say I'm an apostle in that strictest definition, I wouldn't put it on a business card. Apostle Ed Trevors. I barely like putting Reverend Ed Trevors on a business card, but I would never do that. It's not a title. It's just part of my belief. It's just part of who I am. It's not something that I would walk around shaking hands going, hi, I'm an apostle. Because I wasn't made an apostle by Jesus Christ himself. I didn't witness the risen Lord in the flesh. I wasn't taught by Jesus himself. I wasn't trained by Jesus himself. I wasn't given the gifts of an apostle by Jesus himself. Jesus created this team from a large group of believers. Not all of them were deemed apostles. Not all of them were commissioned apostles. Only a few of them, only like 12 of them were given this title, given this honor, given this responsibility. They had a job to do. And for what it's worth, the reason you and I are here, the reason I'm a Christian, is because of the work that those original apostles did, because they continued the ministry that Jesus sent them out to do. Now you might say, well, what about Paul? He was an apostle, but he never ever met Jesus. Well, he did meet Jesus. He met Jesus on the road to Damascus. Jesus appeared to him when Paul was on his way to Damascus for further persecution fun. Paul, at the time Saul, was Jesus appeared to him. And Jesus taught him. And Jesus trained him. And Paul, this time he was Paul again, Paul spent years learning what it was that had been shared with him and practicing what it was that had been shared with him. And then Paul, as an apostle, went to the other apostles who, let's face it, they didn't like this guy. They didn't trust this guy. And they were probably really, really, really angry with what this guy had done to them and to their people. They looked at him. Well, he had to prove himself to them. And they accepted that he had the gifting that Jesus had given them. They're not around anymore. There is nobody walking this earth right now that can claim to have had an encounter with the risen Lord, had been trained by the risen Lord, taught by the risen Lord, and accepted by living, breathing apostles in this world. The apostolic succession that we see with the popes and the matriarchs and with bishops and all those fellows that wear the big fellows and women who wear the big pointy hats with the croziers, that's apostolic succession. They've taken on the job, they've taken on the responsibilities, but they have not taken on the titles. The title ended when the last apostle passed. So for Greg and his wife, and for what it's worth, they're not the only ones. It's a really troubling trend that there are people out there who are being installed and commissioned as capital A apostles, people of authority and people of power with the title and the honor. Rarely have I seen with the responsibility. But it's a really disturbing trend that there are people out there who are being installed. It's a really disturbing trend that there are people out there willing to install others as apostles of Jesus Christ. I mean, it's one thing if some, cockamamie priest somewhere wants to say, I install you as an apostle of mine. I mean, yes, heretical and really in bad taste, but at least they're not saying, I'm installing you and commissioning you as an apostle of Jesus Christ. That's a whole other level of heresy. It's a whole other dangerous place of going. Now, like I said, I have a problem doing a video where all I do is tell people something bad. And I always look for a way that a lesson for you and I. Well, the lesson that I have for you in this, well, there's two actually. The first is, don't claim to be something you're not. You're playing with something that you're playing with something that is dangerous, and you're making a mockery of those who went before. Now, Walt Now Pig, and when we talked about this a little bit on our live stream, he had a great way of describing this moment. Stolen valor. Stolen valor, if you don't know, is when a person just, when somebody comes along and they claim that that they were in the military when they were never in the military, that they served in campaigns that they never served in, that they fought in battles that they never fought in. It's stolen valor. You're claiming to have been somewhere where you never were. You're claiming to have been somewhere where you couldn't possibly have been. You're claiming an honor that belongs to others who were there, who did serve, who did fight, who did suffer. This is stolen valor. When the Greg Locks and all the other people out there say, I am an apostle, it's stolen valor because they weren't there. They could not have been there. They didn't suffer like the others. They didn't accept the responsibilities like those others. They accept the title without the baggage, without the pain, without the sacrifice. We are not to claim that we were someplace that we were not. We are not to claim that we are someone we are not. We are not to claim an honor that isn't ours to claim. As a matter of fact, I would say to you, never, ever, ever claim an honor. And if someone comes to bestow an honor upon you, make sure that you deserve it. It's not just, oh, well, I'm doing it because they've been nice. No. Make sure that you deserve said honor. Or simply say, no, I'm sorry. I'm not deserving of this. I think that to me is one of the most incredibly honorable things a person can do. And the other lesson here, it's simply this. Be careful when people claim to be something mighty. Be careful when people claim to be someone of authority. Be careful when people claim to be someone that you are supposed to defer to. You are supposed to honor, that you are supposed to listen to, that you are supposed to give to. Be careful of them. There's too many people out there who are willing to accept an honor for their own benefit. Too many people out there who are willing to accept a title for what that title will provide them. There are too many people out there who are seeking to gain for themselves, and they are willing even to lessen the importance of a title like apostle. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray you will be safe from these predators. I pray you will be wise when you're in the presence of these predators. I pray that you will never, ever be willing to accept an honor that isn't yours to accept. And I pray that you will pray for people like Greg Locke and his wife, for people who are willing to call themselves apostles, capital A, apostles. I pray you'll pray for them, that they'll return to the path that Jesus would have us walk. Amen. Nemultus.